Today we're going to talk about how to do Center 5, which is all about fractions on a number line. Your first step in this center will be to pick up a baggie from the Center 5 bin. In this baggie, you will find several cards like this, where you can see a number line partitioned into a certain number of equal intervals. You're going to have to use each card to fill out a space on your work page. On the next slide, we'll go over what that should look like. This is an example of one section on your work page. The blank section to the left is for your work where you draw out what was on the fraction number card. Over on the right is a sentence frame or a few sentence frames that you're going to have to fill out based on your picture. Let's say we were using the card on the previous slide. That card showed a fraction number line that was partitioned into 3 equal sections. I'm going to go ahead and sketch that here. So I have my closed number line that starts at 0 and ends at 1, and I have equally partitioned this number line into 3 equal intervals, just like my card. On my card, they had a star above the second tick mark, so I'm going to go ahead and put a star there. My job as the learner is now to label this number line in a way that I know from class. The first step is to find the whole. I know the whole is from 0 to 1, so here I'm imagining one whole rectangle up above this number line that I'm measuring the length across. My second step is to count the hops. I can show that here, so I have 1, 2, 3 equal hops. That tells me that this number line is partitioned into thirds. And I know that each hop or each interval is 1/3 in length, so I'm going to go ahead and label that. My third step is to label the fractions going across. I know at the first tick mark 0, I have crossed none of the thirds. So I can think of 0 as 0/3. Then I have 1/3, 2/3, and finally 3/3, which I know is equivalent or equal to 1 whole. My last step is to identify what the star represents. We can see here that the star shares the same tick mark as 1/3, so the value of the star is 1/3. Now that I've drawn my number line, I've shown all my great thinking and work on the page, I can go over to the sentence frames. And here I'm just going to fill in what I know about this number line. So it starts with, this number line is partitioned into, well, I know now, thirds. The next sentence, it has blank intervals. I can see clearly on my picture that there are 3 equal intervals, so I'm going to put a 3. It has 3 intervals. Each interval is blank in length. Well, that's where my hops come in, and I know that each hop or each interval is 1/3 in length, so I'm going to fill in 1/3. The value of the star is 1/3, and I know that because I've circled it here. This is an example of one section on your math work page. You will need to complete this for each of the number lines in the baggie that you picked up.